Hi.
Hi. I loved the last time you said, "Welcome to We'll Sleep When We're Dead" intro.
Well, that's what it is.
It is what it is. And welcome to our 50th episode.
Wow, wow. Oh, this is me making
And it's so confusing because I
so
do agree with
dumb.
you. 1 year is actually more memorable than 50. 50 is just like an arbitrary number, but it's all the same. It's a
It's
2-week time frame and no one cares. So, except for us.
I'm so proud of us.
Yes, we're just here doing it.
Still doing it, like that
And I
person
will
said
say
last
in
week.
the last 2 weeks, I think it's been, I've had random people that I have not caught up with in like a long time that were like, "Yeah, I've been listening to the podcast. I love it." And it makes me both proud of us and also just horrified still
Horrified.
that people actually listen. But I told this to you. I didn't say this on the podcast, and I will not name her by name because I've really made it a point not to say anyone's name on here because I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. But I had an old friend that I hadn't caught up with in a while that said, "I've been listening to the podcast, and I'm just really happy to know that you're still as type A as you always were."
It's one of my favorite comments you've ever received, to be honest.
I was proud of myself. I don't know. I don't know what I should feel. I should probably feel, oh, I should just relax, but it's not going to happen at this point. I've accepted it. So, you know, for a fact, my energy in this past week specifically has been manic, chaotic
Living
at
for it.
best.
Lucy will never get a tattoo with me, but I'll get a tattoo with anybody that wants to get one. And our joke is that we're going to get roller coasters because just riding her roller coaster on a day to day. And I'm pretty manic, but like I flatline every once in a while. That's not the case with you. So
Whoa,
anyway,
you just never know. You never know where I'm going to be.
I mean, one day I might get a pod tattoo. You never know.
When we get our rebrand done, which we will be doing, that could be something that we have integrated in it. What do the pod tattoos look like? Along with the merch. I still want to do the merch because I do think people will be excited by it.
And what a segue, Luce. Did you mean that for our guest today talking about merch? What a
I
segue.
wish
We're
that I
getting
could.
we're getting better. That was a really good segue.
It's a great segue. I'm so excited about our guest.
Me too. She was really fun.
So fun and so different. So we have Meg DeFeo on this week, and she is the creator behind the Instagram handle All the Moments.
Which we
And
know so many of you follow.
so many of you follow. Sam and I have been giggling so much because we're like, every single one of our friends follows her. For those that don't, she is a content creator that creates really beautiful, cool content for moms like us that just don't quite know what we should be wearing, don't quite know how we should be wearing that. We get into that quite a bit because I just never quite know. And we covered just like so many fun topics that are just not, I would say it's not quite as heavy as some of our other episodes that we've had.
But but in classic We'll Sleep When We're Dead, she's got an interesting story of how she became her own Instagram account. And I didn't know that story at all. So it was very insightful for me. It was another like, let's bet on ourselves, shoot your shot. I mean, it really has become this fun theme for us recently. And for me, I loved it because she had a little glimpse of stay-at-home mom versus working mom. So like it's lighter in the sense that we talk about fun dressing.
What
like
can
how to
you
dress
wear to make
ourselves.
yourself feel good? But like it's still a journey.
She was great.
With everything.
was great.
So I
And
think you guys are going to love it.
we both wore our white shirts, and I realized mine was not nearly as crispy as desired. Mine was so wrinkled.
Actually, after the fact, was like, I should probably throw away all my
Throw
clothes.
that away. Yeah, I was like, nope.
Especially my white t-shirt. So anyways, we hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah,
Meg, thank you so much for being on. And thank you everyone for somehow hanging in with us for 50 episodes. We're grateful that you're here. Bye. All right, everyone. Welcome to We'll Sleep When We're Dead. So excited to have a new friend of the pod with maybe the most fun topic that we have covered yet on this podcast in a year. By the time this posts, Sam, this is like going to be almost a year of on this podcast. It's crazy. We're still impressed people are listening. But anyways, we're thrilled to have a new friend. Meg DeFeo is on with us today. She is the face and the creator behind the All the Moments Instagram account. And I would definitely encourage you guys to go check her out. She has the most amazing style. We have so many moms on this podcast. And she speaks to how to style as a mom every day. So Meg, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. This is like my first podcast ever, so thanks for inviting me to join.
Yay.
Oh my
Oh my gosh,
gosh.
lovely. And we could not, I mean, you're a mom of 2 as well, which we also like, a lot of people can talk about how to style, but we also love to talk about, like, your career as a mom as well, like,
Yeah,
how you do all of that, like, that's so
yeah,
much of what we love to talk about as well, so
yeah,
that'll be so fun to get to know you better too about how you've done all of this with 2 little ones, remind me their age?
yeah. I have a daughter, Millie, who's 8, and my son turns 7 on Friday.
My
They're very
gosh.
close in age.
They are close in age.
Yeah,
But
what
my
is that age?
Holy.
personality is like, okay, let's just do this. If we're gonna be like sleep deprived, let's just go. And then I'm a twin also, and my husband's an Irish twin. So after we had Millie, we said I was like, all right, let's just sort of see if we can have another one quickly so that we're sleep deprived and then they'll be kind of like best friends. And
Oh
luckily
my
it worked out a
gosh.
little bit.
There's almost
Wow.
nothing more relatable for the title of this podcast than the fact that you were leaning into the sleep deprivation. So
Yeah,
that's incredible.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
is incredible. And Sam's closest are how far apart, Sam?
So mine are 18 months apart, my 2nd and my 3rd, but it was a shock, like, we didn't really know we were gonna have 3,
Yeah.
and
Aw.
that is impressive that that was a choice because it wrecked me. I'm like,
Well,
we
I was
just
like, okay, like the shop can be open again, And then it
yeah,
was like, it took us a while to conceive our first daughter. So we were kind of
okay,
like, all right, let's give it a go. They're 18 months apart too.
okay.
And then, I'm like, okay, all right, well, thank you. Now we're doing this, but
Oh my
it was
gosh.
great. I'm happy how it
See,
worked out.
everybody tells me, and I'm sure you could maybe speak to this really quickly, even though it's kind of random to start this way, but people told me, just wait, it'll be worth it. And I'm starting to see that. Like, my baby is almost 4,
Okay.
and I'm like, oh, I kind of get why they were like, oh, now it's just kind of like a pack of kids instead of like lots of separate ages.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming 8 and 7 must also feel that way. Like, now you
Yeah.
just kind of have, yeah, which,
They're just buds, and they're like in
yeah,
the same phase. And I feel like we're just sort of like all in on the ages that they are, not, stuck
yeah.
with a nap or whatever. Like
Hmm.
we're out. So it's good.
Hmm. Yeah,
It's
Oh
great.
my
totally.
gosh, so
Totally.
amazing. So, okay, well, we always love to start at the beginning as we're getting to know you and introducing you to our listeners. You are such an encouragement to so many women about looking and feeling their best. I know for me, I followed along for a really long time and I'm so encouraged that like, yes, getting dressed every day can totally change your outlook on life and your mentality and whatnot, especially as a working mom who has worked at home for 6 years. I think I definitely leaned in at the beginning of COVID to like, I'm wearing those sweats every single day. I'm just gonna like do the bare minimum. And I really transitioned as time has gone on to being like, nope, you're wearing real pants every
Yeah.
day and you're putting on a makeup and all of that. And I think it changes a lot. So I'm so curious, like, how did this journey start? Like, have you always loved fashion?
Yeah.
How did this transition come to life for you?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so random, honestly. So I guess like to start all the way back in the beginning, I grew up on this little tiny island and we had no malls. Like there were a couple shops, but like Kmart was like the biggest store. And so I remember getting like, the Delia's catalog or just like all the American catalogs like in the mail and
Delia's. I
the
have not
best.
heard that brand in like 20 years.
Like
I am
still wish I had
shook.
gotten those flare pants. So like
Ugh.
I just like loved flipping through and I felt like I was like so discerning as I went through, and like I want this or this and you flip back and be like, okay, I want like everything, but I just liked it. Like I just thought it was fun and I just enjoyed it. I didn't like my parents never bought me stuff. Like I did not have a lot of clothes growing up. But I just loved it. Like I just loved sort of being around clothes and thinking about clothes. And then, moved to the States to go to college, went to Smith College in Massachusetts, graduated, moved to DC, worked there for a couple years. And I think it was Memorial Day weekend. All my friends went down to Virginia Beach and they were like going to the beach. But I don't know why. I was like, I didn't feel like going. So I stayed in DC, went to Georgetown, was like walking around and had the sweetest experience. I've always loved J. Crew. So I was just like in the store walking around and I felt like I was, coming up on 2 years there and felt like I needed a change. And so when I had a great experience, I was like, I'm just gonna go see if like J. Crew has any jobs. I at that time you submitted your resume for like departments. You didn't even submit for like a job back then. So I submitted my resume being like, okay, here we go. And heard from them that Monday morning and went up for a couple interviews. And I'm like such a private person that I didn't even tell my parents I was interviewing. Like I was just sort of like, okay, let's go see how this goes.
Yeah.
And so that turned into like a couple rounds, got the job. One of my favorite parts about the story was it was temp to hire. So I left like a permanent job with benefits in DC to go see about this job at J. Crew. But we hired a lot of people at that time, temp to hire. I think it was like a really good way. I mean, it was sort of cruel, but it was like a really good way to get that feedback loop super quick. So
Yeah.
if you were not doing well, you could just say like, okay, we need you to do these things in the next 3 months or move on. So I quit my full-time permanent job, went to take a temp to hire job in New York City with J. Crew / Madewell Corporate. Was living on my twin sister's floor. And remember calling my dad being like, do you think you could put me on your insurance for like a couple months?
Oh
He was
my
like,
gosh.
no. My dad is like, I graduated from college and was like, come home for a couple weeks. He's like, no, go figure it out. So he's like, no. And I remember being so stressed out insurance, like, gotta get this job. Like, what if I like get hit by a bus or like bust my knee running or something? So that turned into, I got the offer full time and it turned into a decade at J. Crew and Madewell, and it was just
Wow.
so fun and so cool. And like really kind of grew up with everyone there. We were all so young and met our partners, got married, like had kids, and then COVID hit and it was just really hard. Like Millie was just over 2, Wells was like 9 months or something like that, and the business was so supportive of all of the parents, but it was just like I was working in the morning and my husband would work in the afternoon because there was no daycare. And then, you know, we finally took them back to daycare and it was just like too much. My little guy hated leaving the house. And so he would like work himself up to a fever for like the 7-minute drive from home to daycare. You guys must remember they were like doing temperature checks and they were like,
Yes.
"The fever." I'm like, no, he just doesn't want to be here.
He's just hot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just like upset.
Right.
And so it just kind of forced our hand. We always sort of said, maybe I'll stay home. And so it sort of accelerated that. But speaking about sort of like women in careers, I feel like it was really hard for me to step away from J. Crew and Madewell. I loved my job. I felt like they were so supportive, but in my heart, I knew that I wouldn't regret like having more time with the kids. And so I felt like I cried so much, and my husband would always be like, "We've had this conversation. The worst case, you go back." But I was scared. Like, it was like,
Yeah.
I feel like, you work so hard and your identity becomes your job for better or worse. And so walking away from that, I just didn't know like where I'd fit in. But ultimately, I quit and I had like the best summer with them just playing. And it was so liberating not to be like trying to juggle a job and COVID and like spending quality time with them. But then that fall, and I feel like no one knows this about my story actually, but I'll share it with you guys.
I love it.
Wonderful.
That summer was great, but then, my kids went to like a little preschool, so they were out of the house. Wells was out for like 2 hours, but it was still nice. Like I need my personal time. So I was like, see you later. Just to like have a minute to think. But in that time, I felt like I wanted to do something. And so while I was working, I felt like the mental load of motherhood, which probably plays well in this your community, but like I found it totally overwhelming. Like I feel like I remember missing the Millie's first Halloween. It was Monday and everyone's like, "What's she gonna be for Halloween?" I was like, "What? No, I don't know."
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Because I feel like you can just like you're so consumed with work, and then you go home and you're like so consumed with just like being with them and getting laundry done, just like everything. And I found it totally overwhelming. So I built this tool that was like trying to help like relieve the mental load of motherhood, which is how I got on Instagram, trying to get the word out about helping moms create all the moments, which is sort of like my handle. Um, and so you would fill out this like personalized survey, and then I created this program that gave like you have like little reminders on your calendar. So I created a personalized calendar. So it'd be like just like these micro to-dos throughout the week, month to get ready for all the things you wanted to do in life. And so that's how I like ended up
Love
sharing on
that.
Instagram. And that was fun, and it kind of gained some traction, and I had this, like, weekly to-do list that everyone loved, but it was a slow burn, and then the January of 2021, I said, I read Atomic Habits, which we'll kinda get into, but
Yeah.
I just said, "Okay, I'm gonna start getting dressed again," because I'd let myself go, I was, like, with the kids, running around, working on this at night, like, it was kind of techy, like, in the background, and I just had totally forgotten to get dressed, and then that kind of really, one of my reels went viral, and it's sort of just been about sort of leaning into getting dressed again since that.
Meg, I'm not kidding you. You probably hit on 15
Everything we talk
themes
about. Yeah.
that we talk about on this podcast all the time with guests from all different walks of life, all different careers, whether it's mental load. I want to do a whole episode on people's lives during COVID because I swear I've blacked out half of it, but I was like
Yeah.
just going through this with another friend the other day about how like two working parents juggled their days during COVID. I mean, it was literal insanity.
Same.
It
So,
was.
anyways, and the progression from being a working mom to a stay-at-home mom is a theme that we discuss a lot. So anyways, just it's as if you just re-articulated everything that we've talked about in the last year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I love
and
that.
I am the stay-at-home mom of the couple, Meg, but I've never worked as a mom. So you actually might be like one of the few guests that we've talked with. We've kind of done one or the other,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
Mhm.
you've actually now done both, which is
Mhm.
so intriguing to me. And just listening to you without you saying it, like I've articulated this a lot too, as like, I'm a stay-at-home mom and it's really hard, but like I still have an itch to do something, hence this podcast. So I find it so interesting that even it wasn't, yes, it's like a stark difference that first day. You're probably like, oh my gosh, I'm not at work. But then, like, listening to you obviously naturally, like, still had a niche. You're still creating at home. You've, like, tried to figure it out because that difference is it's hard to understand what you're getting yourself into. So really quickly before we jump more into
Yeah.
the fashion stuff, I would love to hear, like, how did that go? Like, you touched on the work aspect, but me as a stay-at-home mom, like, I just love hearing how that transition goes because it's really hard and, like,
Yeah.
it's
The
not just,
transition
like,
from
playing
working
with
to
your
staying
kids all
home,
day. Like,
right?
yeah, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
cause it sounds lovely, it can
Yeah. No,
sound
it's
really
ever
lovely, and I
like you're retired, and you're like, wait, I've actually never worked harder in my entire life, and
yeah,
I feel
yeah,
so down. But then you also feel this, like, tremendous gratitude for like, I felt so grateful for my husband that he, had to step up and work, and I got to
mhm,
spend time with them, but it was a lot, and I just remember so many days my husband like, Kyle coming home, and he was like, "How was your day?" And I was so torn because I had I love I love spending time with my kids, but it was a lot, and I don't know if I, like, have the right sort of eloquent words to say, but it's just I honestly feel like being a stay-at-home mom is the hardest job in the world. Like, you
mm,
work all the time,
mhm,
you have no break, and, I mean, at least I feel like personally, like, I never felt permission to sit down or take a break.
mm,
I
mm-mm,
felt like I was trying to the way we thought about it was like just trying to like focus on the family, which included helping the kids thrive and helping my husband thrive at work, which meant like on the weekends, it was like, okay, you take the nap. Really, I was
yeah,
like, I am so beat. Like, I I like wouldn't even like let myself get my nails done. Like I just felt like it was my job to be on all the
Yeah.
time, you know. So
Yeah.
I feel like, I think it's the most important job in the world, and I wish more people had the opportunity to do it because I feel like it really is so special and it goes so fast, like when we're really able to be with them. But it's hard. Like it is the hardest job, I would say. I don't know what
Yeah.
you found, Sam, but
Well, I never worked
yeah,
before sorry, I worked as a teacher for 10 years, but then
yeah,
I started staying home. So I
yeah,
didn't understand that juggle. And so just even
yeah,
listening to you and Lucy's obviously I've known her the whole time, but I never understood the pressure of the juggle. I can only relate to that feeling of like never allowing myself to have breaks, learning how to like give myself grace as a stay-at-home mom, letting myself understand that I do deserve to go get my nails done. But like
yeah,
it was a really long, I'm 7 years in, and
yeah,
it was a really rough learning curve for
yeah,
me to like, because I'm a worker bee as well. And that's where I always feel like I'm an advocate for stay-at-home moms. Like day one with your first kid, I'm like, get help or like allow
yeah,
yourself to go do something because we don't need to like earn that, even though we
yeah,
feel at times that we have to earn it. So it's just
yeah,
I love listening to your perspective because you've
yeah.
seen it both ways, which
Yeah.
it it's all hard.
It is, and we
It's
always
all
say,
hard.
like, we always say, we're like, we have to choose our heart, and, like,
Yeah.
we're choosing our heart and, at different stages, because even just, like, when we decided for me to stay home, it was choosing to live smaller in a really affluent town and, like, just making that choice when, people still had dual incomes, it's hard, but you just have to the juggle is real, but it's great.
Yeah.
They're all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Thing. This episode is brought to you in part by Hornble's Chornbles. Whether you're heading to pre K pickup like Sam or you're staring at your last 2 hours of meetings like me, we have something really fun to tell you about. Have you guys heard of Hornble's Chornbles? Yes, that name is correct. It's protein candy, 10 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, and it actually tastes delicious. So the next time you hit that afternoon slump and you're craving something sweet, make it count with these.
And the best news is they're now at Target. So next time you're doing the last minute laundry detergent run, or like me, a quick Target delivery, throw some Hornble's Chornbles in your cart because you deserve it.
Okay, so you had this opportunity to work at J. Crew Madewell headquarters. I am so curious, like, what did working inside those brands kind of teach you about how women like actually shop and dress and like what are their considerations? I think it's interesting. Fashion is everyone talks about fast fashion and how like trends are evolving so quickly and whatnot. So I'm curious, like, what was kind of the takeaway that you had that's maybe like informed how you think about clothing now?
Yeah, yeah. This was like the hardest one for me to think about, quite honestly. But I think it's such a great question. I think that one of the things we always talked about, and what was really cool about J. Crew is there was a loudspeaker. Mickey Drexler, our CEO, would come on the loudspeaker and everywhere, regardless of what department you sat in, you could kind of hear him talking. And it was just like such a great, like, masters in business and retail and all the things. And one of the things he always talked about was J. Crew's position in the market was like we were trying to be, and I think this is what women value today, and I think a lot about with my account is being the littlest house on the best block, which meant for us like having incredible quality, like quality that matched Ralph's and all these other high-end brands. Like we knew our cashmere was as good, but we weren't putting the logo on it, so they didn't have to pay that premium and markup. And so I think that women value quality when they're buying things. Like we're happy to spend if we know that it will be in our closet and hold up for years to come. So I think that that's something we thought a lot about was like how do we help women get great quality clothes and
Mhm.
the confidence to not have to wear the logos all the time. Like their clothes can speak for themselves. We also thought about like the world is so over assorted, and so our job was to make sure that we were curating the collections down to what were like the women anyone could go in the store and they wouldn't get it wrong, right? Like I think that
Yeah.
like, even in my job today, like keeping up with new arrivals is insanity, and you're just like it's too much. Like there's too many of the same thing or trying to be the same thing. And so trying to really sort of like curate it so that it was the best three colors or whatever it was. And so
Yeah.
trying to figure out like how do we create a tight assortment. We thought about that a lot. What else? What else did I was thinking? We always also I think, the other thing that changed a lot in the 10 years was kind of the speed of people shopping and their expectation of how quickly to get it, right? So, you know, when I first joined, we were talking about like 2 week shipping, like it was like, you get it in
Wow.
2 weeks, and then at the end, like we were like, who do we partner with to curry something if someone wants a shirt in New York City the same day, And so I think
Yeah.
like that the speed, that people want things has changed a lot,
Yeah.
and just, like, when they're buying. I feel like when I started, they were buying we had a few collections come out throughout the year, but it wasn't this, like, every 2 weeks there's a drop of
Yeah.
new arrivals, and I think women just sort of, like, shopped slower and maybe bought bigger in those moments, and now, like, graze of shopping, like,
Right.
every day,
Right.
so,
What did you find,
yeah.
Meg, originally, was it more seasonal? Because that's what I feel like when
I
I think
think
about
so.
my, like, buying patterns for growing up, it was like
Yeah.
you got new clothes when you were going to school, and those, like, better last you, like,
Yeah,
through the whole
exactly.
year. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And, like, I feel like that
Totally.
kind of
It was
informed
like
me
you're gonna shop
versus
for fall, winter, and shop for spring, summer, and it wasn't this,
Yes.
like, all year, and now I definitely feel like it's just this you don't
Yeah.
really have those big buy moments, right? You have,
No.
like, this throughout. So
Yeah. So, so interesting. Okay. So you worked there, you learned a ton, and then you talk about reading Atomic Habits, which I literally was so excited to chat with you about because I think it is truly one of my favorite books. And I would recommend anyone that's listening to go read it. It is not related to fashion, it's just related to how you continue to behave, why you do things the way that you do them. Such a great book, and I was like, "Oh, that's on my bookshelf, and I might need to do a little reread on that
Yeah.
one."
oh my
It's
gosh.
good.
At least listen to the audiobook, like, while you're emptying the dishwasher and stuff.
Yes.
I actually listened to the audiobook. I know I said I read it, but,
Yeah,
I
same.
listened to the
It's the same
audiobook.
thing
Yeah.
in my mind. Yeah.
But it's fantastic, and it's interesting, like, it's not super boring and, like, lots of charts and stuff.
Yeah, it's really good, but you mentioned that that really changed the way that you thought about getting dressed. So
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, was that mental shift immediate, or was it gradual, or how did you start to kind of incorporate those behaviors?
Yeah. Yeah. I felt like that book changed the way I thought about habits. I've always been sort of a disciplined person, but sometimes I feel like we have to change 100 things to feel like our best, And I just didn't have that time, like I couldn't overhaul my life. And so when I looked at how I felt and where I wanted, like how I wanted to feel, I was like, okay, I found something so empowering that the book was like, a tiny habit stacked in your day has this snowball effect. And so I was like, okay, I can just get dressed. Like, if I just get dressed every single day and focus on the discipline of building that habit, like I know that it will snowball into other habits and being more accountable. And so that's what I did. And I feel like it was so overwhelming some days to be like, okay, what am I supposed to put on? And does this, like I had let myself go. Like my jeans were straight leg jeans. Like I had nothing that was cool. So then you're like trying to order stuff, being like, does this fit right? This feels
Yeah.
Right.
like what is this? It just felt totally overwhelming. So it was just this like promise to myself, like, okay, I don't have to get it perfect. And what I love about Atomic Habits is they say, don't focus on like perfection, just focus on building the habit and like perfect will come. And not that we perfect is the goal or anything, but like, don't worry about like being good at it or mastering it. Just worry about like building the habit. And so I really focused on that and just started getting dressed. And, I think the most powerful part of that was just sort of like, you know, how it helped me show up for myself with building a more credible workout routine and, kind of getting involved in the PTO. And like, it just helped me really put intention back into my day where I'd sort of let it slip. And so, yeah, so I think the change was immediate, but I think maintaining it, um, was hard, right? Like, I think the
Yeah.
first kind of couple weeks, you're like it's just like when you start working out again, you're like, you got the endorphins pumping, you're not sore yet, there's hope in the air. And then, a couple weeks in, you're like, I don't want to spend time doing this, or I feel guilty spending time doing this. Like the
Mm,
kids are like, you're getting dressed, and you're like, I'm almost done, but I think it's such a good habit for them to say. Um,
Yeah.
so I think initially it was like this initial flip in like feeling the change, but then I think sticking with it was really where the importance of that habit came in because it's not like I felt like doing it every day, but I knew that showing up for myself, m- you know, would be the feeling I want to have for the rest of the day. Yeah.
It's amazing.
What do you feel that has evolved? I'm assuming before you had your kids talking about J. Crew, like you enjoyed getting dressed, but then you felt like you've lost yourself. So you just said showing up for yourself as a mom. Like, how has that evolved as a mom? What has that done for you just as a mom? And like, I would imagine most of your followers are moms. And
Hmm.
so, how do you find that to encourage other moms to like? What does that feeling like of showing up for yourself? Because I know what
Yeah.
it's felt like for me. I just moved to Brooklyn 2.5 years ago. And let me tell you, like, I'm obsessed with getting dressed now that I live in Brooklyn because no matter what, somebody looks cooler, weirder, like wilder. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like I don't spend as much time anymore in the front of the mirror being like, does this go with this? Now I'm just like, I'm going to give it a try. And then, like, I'm outside walking the streets and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this is so fun. Nobody cares if my jeans are too short or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have found that been really helpful for me, but how has that been for you as a mom? Just like that feeling of showing up for yourself, and then I'm assuming for your like all of the people that I'm sure you hear from your followers, like what
Yeah.
has that done for them?
Yeah. I think what it means is like filling my own cup first thing in the morning, like giving myself permission to like take 5 to 15 minutes to like get a shower, put on some moisturizer and makeup, and put on an outfit with intention. And I think that that's just something that is so cliche, but I really did not give myself permission to do in the early days. Like, I just felt like there wasn't time in the day, like the kids had to get ready. Like, it was just always about them. And I think that, like, it's been this like really gentle, soft way to show up for myself.
Yeah.
That wasn't this like crazy workout or this crazy diet. It was just like, okay, like I can just be mindful, think about my day and my intentions for the day while I get ready. And it just has this way of being more intentional throughout the day and more productive.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of what I feel like it's meant for me so that I can be like the best mom and the best wife and the
Mhm.
best friend and sister and all that
Mhm.
stuff. So, and I
Totally.
think that that's what I hear from the community is just this like confidence that they've gotten back just giving themselves some time in the day. Like I don't think
Yeah.
this like it's not this like magic dust of getting dressed. It's just that I think that when you take time for yourself, you start to realize like, oh, I like this. I feel good in this. I feel comfortable in this. Like this feels good to think about myself again, not in a vain way,
Yeah.
but just in a way that's like hello, hi. Hi, nice to see you again since kids. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
we deserve as women to like know what we like and feel good in
Mhm.
what we're wearing and that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's incredible. Um, I'm curious, and then we'll get to the really fun questions. The one like last heavier question I would say is more like women are I think they can feel disconnected from themselves when you become a mom because I think, it can be hard to remember who you were before you were a mom or, you do change. So I'm curious, like, what would you say to a mom is like the first thing that you would recommend doing if they either feel disconnected from themselves or if they feel like guilty, I say, quote
Hmm.
unquote, investing like time and energy into themselves every day?
Hmm. Yeah, I guess I think it's, similar to what Sam said. Like, I think you just need to give yourself permission to get help. Like, being a stay
Yeah.
at home mom is a full time job and you deserve to have breaks. And that can look different for other people. I'm someone who does not live near like, we live near family, but they're like an hour away. So we're not getting like daily help, or I don't even have like a 30-minute break or someone helping unload the dish. Like, I wish that I'd given myself permission to just have someone help with like just have help in any way, and not feel like it was my sort of like burden to bear. And from a what I talk about every day, like I do wish that I'd given myself permission to buy new pajamas or like buy a
Yeah.
new swimsuit if I was going to be at the pool all summer or like, you know, a cute sweat set, not, just to like feel good if I was staying home all day. Like, those
Uh-huh.
things sound so superficial, but they matter. And I think that like it just helps you stay a little bit more in touch with yourself, which I think is so important, especially for my daughter, Millie. Like, I think it'd be so interesting if I'd had a son and then a daughter, but like, it's important that she sees me taking care of myself. Like, that's something that I want her to feel like when she goes on and if she wants to have a family, like, she feels like there's space in the day because she's watched me raise them, that like, there's space in the day to work out. There's space in the day to take care of yourself. There's space in the day to do something that helps share your gifts with the world, and there's space to be a great family, And so I think that I think that I'd wish I'd given myself permission to be less invisible in the early days. Like I felt like my job was to be like,
To
the
the
little
house.
puppet. Yeah,
Yep.
like, yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm so good at stage crew. So it was like, I'm good at this.
Yeah.
But I feel like I just sort of woke up and was like, wow, I really am not happy. Like I
Yeah.
just feel like I've lost myself in this journey, even though everyone else is thriving, like I had become disconnected with what kind of I wanted personally. Yeah.
It's funny, the permission piece, new moms are so vulnerable, and it's hard to remind myself or remember how I was, but I actually distinctly remember, and this is gonna sound so silly, but I was a new mom, I was, like, 4 months postpartum, and a mom that had 2 kids, a friend of mine, just the simple thing of she said, "Sam, go to, like, a cheaper store and buy yourself 2 pairs of jeans 2 sizes big for your postpartum." And I was like, "Wait, I'm allowed to do that? I don't have to just wait until I can get back into my jeans and then only wear sweatpants?" Like, just and
Right.
it's silly, but you're postpartum and you're so anxious and you are not giving yourself time to think about that. But then
Right.
a new mom, like, offering that permission to be like, "You deserve to have jeans that
Yeah.
feel good. You're allowed
Right.
to have these 2 sizes too extra, and then you put them in the closet until you have your next baby." So, yeah, it's just funny that permission of getting dressed, it's not vain at all. It's, like, such a freedom to be like, "Oh, wait, other
Yeah.
people are doing this."
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's such a good
Yeah.
reminder because 'cause we're so far out of it, our
We
kids are
are.
older.
But I think that that's one of the like beautiful things about the podcast is that I think that we always try to find people that are like 10 years ahead in our journey and like
Mhm.
asking them like like when I was trying to decide to leave J. Crew, I remember calling my girlfriend and being like, How's it going?" Like she was a stay-at-home mom with 4 girls and I was like, "Do you think I should do it?" And she's like, "You'll
Yeah,
never regret more time with your kids." And like it helped having that perspective of someone who'd like
yeah.
walked the journey. And so the
Yeah,
new moms
totally.
that are kind to be like, you deserve to go get jeans 2 sizes too big. Like that permission is valuable. And so I
Oh,
think new moms listening, like it's so great that they can just put you guys in and
yeah.
feel like, okay, I deserve this,
I
and sort of
deserve
continue
this.
to advocate
Yeah,
for themselves.
yeah. Let's talk about getting dressed because you're a pro, and I love watching the ease at which you do it. I also feel like I've evolved so much. And so in my 20s, it was all about quantity. Like, give me every sale item. I never wanted to rewear something. I was like so proud if I didn't rewear
Yeah.
something, even if my shirt was like $4. And obviously now I'm not like that, but I still find it hard to invest and knowing how to invest in basics. And you do such a good job with like your basics, how to share, showing that you're wearing things multiple times. Like, I love it so much. So, what has kind of been like your formula for you or new moms if they're just getting started? And then what's like worked for you to just
Yeah.
get started and then build from that?
Yeah. Yeah. That's such a great thank you. I feel like I think it's just because I've walked the walk. Like, I feel like when I decided that I wanted to get dressed again, I remember following all these people and them sharing these like $400, $500 dresses. And I was like, oh, like that is so cute, like clicking on stuff like, can
Yeah.
I afford it? And then you're like, oh,
No.
so I feel like I was like, okay, I want to rebuild my wardrobe. It had to work for me because I felt like if I was giving myself permission to steward our money that way, that like I had to rewear it whether I wanted to or not. And so, I think, a premium pair of straight leg jeans is like what every woman needs. You guys probably
Mhm.
like, I know. But
Yep.
I think that a pair of jeans that fits in the right size, that gets better with age, it's like going back to an old friend. Like, you just feel like you feel good in them, and you look good in them, and they work for day, they work for night, like, they're just great. I also think that, like, every woman needs, like, a crisp white t-shirt. I feel like there's so many out there, that are great at different price points depending on, like, where you wanna enter, but, you know, fresh and clean, like, white matters, like, not like the scrunchy, like, if the neck's worn out, like, you deserve to get a new
Like
piece,
mine. Like
Yeah.
mine right now, Meg. I'm very worn out. I
No,
need
but
another one.
you look great. I think looks good. The necklace
Well, in the rapid fire, Meg will tell you which one to go buy. So this will be
I was
great.
like, you the first one you want.
But I'm listening. I'm listening.
Yeah. No, so I think that's important. I think also just like trying to add a layer without it being impractical. So, I think we're inside with AC all day. So, like, even in the summer, I feel like we need like a navy and a cream sweater to throw on when it's cold, or throw over your shoulders for a little like layer to add dimension to your outfit. Um, a couple pair of shorts, like a fun pattern. There's so many influencers that are like, jean shorts are out, but like I'm wearing jean shorts. A lot of the cool moms around my town look cute in jean shorts. When I go into the
I'm
city,
wearing
they're
jean
jean
shorts
shorts.
today. So if they're out, I am
Yeah,
canceling
I'm like, I
this
don't want to be
podcast.
right. Like, they work. They are like a pair of worker pants. So I think like a couple great bottoms, and then like a raffia bag in the summer, wait
Hmm.
in the fall, and then like a
Hmm.
couple pairs of shoes.
Hmm.
Love
It's where
it.
you can
Totally.
start.
Okay, what would you say is the easiest closet upgrade that you could give yourself with the biggest ROI? So like maybe you're going to have to invest a little bit more in it, but like what is going to give you the biggest bang for your buck?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I sound like a broken record, but I would say that you should buy the 90s straight light jeans that are high rise. Like, they are the perfect jeans. Like, they fit so many body types that you feel good in them. They will not go out of style, um, which I think is important, right? Like, there's so much trends, that you can be excited about, but like, they will just never do you wrong. They get better literally every time you watch them. So I would say you probably should get a pair of straight light jeans.
I feel like as a mom right now, I just like don't know how people are catching up with the trends. Like for you, it is your full-time job, but like I'm like, can I just wear a white tee and good jeans for the next like I'm almost 40. I want to
Yes.
do that for 10 years.
Yeah.
I
Let's do
can't
it.
even right. Like I can't keep up with the trends. Like it's so
Yeah.
exhausting. I mean, it's if it's
Yeah.
your niche and it's your interest, like 100%. But that
Totally.
pressure of somebody like me who has zero time to think about shopping,
Yeah.
the trends are like so exhausting. Like I just
Yeah.
only want to wear the basics.
Yeah.
Meg, I guess with that question around like trends and whatnot, like how do you feel about renting? Like,
Yeah.
because this
Yeah.
is one thing
Yeah.
for like vacations and whatnot, Sam and
Yeah.
I have been doing more frequently where it's like
Yeah.
we'll do a 1 month subscription of Rent the Runway or Newly or something like that, just so that we're
Yeah.
not buying a bunch of things that we'll
Yeah.
never wear again. How do you think
Yeah.
about
No,
that?
I think that's so smart. I think the one thing I would say about, wine, and then I'll get to the rental. The jeans and a t-shirt, like, I think that's Sam, you discovering your personal style and what you feel good in. And I wouldn't see it as like not keeping up with the trend. I would see it as like, this is what I feel good in. This works for my life, and softening into that and feeling good about it and not like you're missing. And, it's like
Yeah.
throwing a fun necklace on or a fun pair of
Yep.
shoes to mix those two things, like mix it up. But like, that's where I'm sitting, months away from 40 as well. It's like, I like wearing this. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to wear these, like, I don't want to wear that, or like maybe
Yeah.
there's a trend that I want to be part of. But like, for the most part, like, I feel good in what I feel good in. And I'm not getting dressed for, you know, everyone else. Like, I'm getting
Right.
dressed for me, and
Uh-huh.
Yep.
so, I do feel this like weird insecurity, not weird, just like normal insecurity around like, am I cool enough to be on Instagram? Like, I do feel like I'm just a mom trying to inspire people to get dressed. Um, but it's like, I don't want to be like, I don't want to wear all that. Like, I don't want to spend
Yeah.
our family's money on all of that. Like, I just want to
No.
feel good in my clothes and,
Mhm.
be a good role model to the kids. And then about
Yeah.
renting, I think renting is brilliant. My one girlfriend in town, it's funny, we like always see each other on vacations. Not that we plan them, but we're like, wait, you're here? Wait, you're here? And I'm
That's so
always
fun.
asking her, like, where's your top from? That's so cute. And she's like, literally, it's almost always Rent the Runway, and I think
Yeah.
it's great. Like, I think it's just, like, such a great way to, enjoy some new things without spending them, like, buying them and never wearing them again, so I
Yeah.
I totally behind it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I
Okay,
wanna
wanna
do our
rapid
mini
fire?
rapid
Yeah.
fire, Sam,
Okay.
which I'll have you do, but I
Okay.
have to ask one question that's just burning in my mind, and this is talking about really not knowing how to dress yourself. What are we doing with the shirts these days? Is it a front tuck, full tuck? Are we not tucking anymore? Like, let's say we're in Sam's white T-shirt. This one is non-tuckable because it's this scrunchy thing from Madewell.
Yeah.
I wore it
Oh,
purposely knowing
cute.
knowing
Yeah.
who we were chatting with. But
No.
it's
Yeah.
crippling to me. Literally,
Yeah.
Meg, I don't
It's
know. I will,
so
like, stand in front of the mirror, and I'm like, "I don't know what's cool." So,
No,
you
I
tell
think what
us.
we're doing is I love a front full tuck. Like Sienna Miller still rocks a full tuck, and I think she's so chic. So I definitely love a full front tuck. Also think though, like to be a little bit more like undone or effortless, you're like tucking like so I'm wearing these like little boxer shorts so you can't see, but like you're tucking like right above the
Yep.
loophole, which kind of like
Okay.
creates some dimension, same here. And then we have
Yes.
so I don't know, I think that's where we're tucking, but who knows?
Okay, I'm
Well,
gonna try
Meg,
that this week.
M-
I'm feeling inspired to try a side tuck.
And then a back tuck if you feel like it's too much to, like it looks cute with a little back.
Yeah, great.
also, Meg, I don't know if you don't know this. Why would you? I'm barely 5 foot. So I have like so many things working against me because there'll be like all these people being like, we're not tucking our shirts anymore. And then I go to a petite person and they're like, the only way to elongate your body is to tuck all your shirts in. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing because I'm so short. And so
Yeah.
it's just funny because that's like that part, like, you guys are so incredibly helpful. And then sometimes I just love going again on the streets of Brooklyn and be like, you know what? Today I'm going to try a front tuck. Tomorrow I'm
Yeah.
going to try a note tuck. And like
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
see what happens because
Yeah.
everything is different. But it's just hard because you want to like dress what's best for your body. So then you watch somebody and you're like, oh, that looks good on their body. But I don't care if the outward shirt is trending. Tucking in makes my tiny frame look taller. So I'm going to do that. And
Right.
so,
Right. Right.
but it's hard
Right.
to know. It's really hard
Yeah.
to
It's
know.
hard to know. And
Um,
I'm jealous because I think New York, like walking around New York and Brooklyn is the best. And you're right. No one's looking at you. So you can
no,
really feel comfortable
no.
trying
If
stuff.
If
Yeah.
anything, Meg, I'm looking at everybody else because there's a lot to look at. Nobody is looking at me.
I know. I know. It's the best feeling. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do a rapid fire. You already said best jeans, but I'm going to just have you repeat them. Best
Yeah. No,
jeans.
best jeans are hands down the Eagle, the 90s, high rise, straight leg,
Amazing.
the
Okay.
best.
Do
Love
they
it.
come in petite?
They actually come in a cropped version, so I feel like you should
Okay.
yeah, they do come in cropped and, like, mid-rise, which I think is more flattering on petites instead of
Okay.
yeah.
Great. Um,
Great.
best white tee.
Right now I'm loving the oh god, what should I say? I think I have to say what I'm wearing all the time. It's the Adina A Goldie white tee. It's cropped, it's great, washes perfectly. I love it so much.
Love it.
How often are you washing your jeans, Meg?
I wash my jeans.
You
I know
do?
that like
Okay.
the Levi CEO says to like put them in the freezer, and I remember at J. Crew, but people's like I like my jeans like washed and tight. Like I'm
Okay.
maybe
Yeah.
it's the millennial in me, but like I wash my jeans probably every couple wears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always struggled with the freezer thing. I'm like, are they going in next to the chicken nuggets? Are they going in next to the ice cubes? Where are we? I'm just trying to
I just
imagine my
think it's
husband
gross.
opening the freezer
Yeah.
and
I just
finding a pair of jeans. He would
yeah.
be like, "You are a
Lost
You
it.
psychopath."
forgot your
You've
jeans in
lost
the
it.
freezer. You're like, no,
Yeah.
no, I put them there. They're like, what? Why? Yeah.
However, if somebody told Kev to put his like golf club in the freezer and he'd play better, he would do it.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I
Oh,
mean, we'd
God.
have the
100%.
All the golf clubs in the deep freezer in the
Right.
basement. So it'll be good.
One shoe every mom should own.
Yeah. I think in the summer, every mom should own like a great neutral sandal. I love my like wrap sandals. I think they add like a level of like intention and, they're not like a flip flop. Like they add some sort of balance to your leg. So I would say like a neutral wrap sandal in the summer.
Amazing.
Most underrated wardrobe piece.
Hmm. Hmm. I don't know, maybe like a great bag, like a bag that you invested in that will kind of be part of who you are for years to come, that just, it probably was an investment, but like fits all the stuff, like we were just away abroad and you lug so much stuff, and like at the end of the day, it's like 50 pounds. And I think like having a bag that you love like makes that less burdensome, like
Yeah.
quite
I'm
literally.
s I'm still figuring out my mom bag here because everybody does over the shoulder bags in Brooklyn, but there's so much mom stuff I have to lug, and so
Yeah.
I'm still, like, figuring that out. That's a good one for me to think about.
Yeah.
Okay, don't waste your money on.
Hmm. Don't waste your money on. I think there's a lot of really great cashmere at a really good price now. Like I think Quince has actually like really done a great job with quality cashmere. And so, before I would have like probably spent like $180 on like a great cashmere crew neck. And now, Quince has one for $50 and I truly stand behind it. Like I think it's great.
Yeah,
So probably
yeah.
That's
wouldn't
amazing.
waste it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I threw this one on there just to be really controversial because 'cause we're millennials. Sweatpants or leggings
To work out.
in general? What are we
Oh.
doing?
Mean, I like both. I think, like, both can live, Like, I think I, like, have this, like, PTSD around leggings because I lived in them for so long,
Same.
and it kind of, like, reminds me of when I wasn't taking care of myself, so, I still put on leggings every day to work out, and I think that they feel most comfortable, but, walking around, I just think that there's, like, a lot more comfortable clothes to wear than
Right.
leggings,
Yeah.
and I like sweatpants. I like sweatpants on, like, a Saturday morning or a Sunday afternoon. Like, I think they're way more comfortable than leggings. I don't know if that answered your question.
No, it's
That's
perfect.
great.
I'm right there with you.
Okay.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, Meg, this was so fun. I
Yeah,
feel
this
like it
was.
was like
It was what
equal
we
parts
wanted.
fun, but also deep. Like I
Aw.
feel like I'm gonna go
Yeah.
reflect on how I can be applying this to my everyday life. So
Mhm.
we're so grateful to have you on. Thank
Yeah,
you so
thank
much
you.
for your
Yeah, thank
time.
you guys. Thanks for hosting me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Gosh, anytime. And
Alright.
we'll,
All right.
like, link you so everybody can follow at all the moments, but all of our followers follow you already because I see them always, like, commenting on your stuff. This will be so fun, so thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thanks for
Meg.
having me,
See
guys.
ya.
Have a great
Okay.
one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.